So for a few years I've been battling this. The ground is low here and it just floods. So I have a drain off right behind that bush. I got permission from the village to tie into it, but I gotta put in a trench and pipe it and bring it over to here, over here or someplace. Next couple weeks I'm gonna figure out the elevation. I need like 1 inch drop per 8 feet or something, well, anyhow, to get over to there. So I need to check the elevation first, but in the meantime, for the past 6 years, I have this Amazon Echo connected pump and that I bought from Harbor Freight. And it doesn't need to do a lot, it just needs to move the water. I've had the water up to the top of those bricks there before, so and even here it's been running this morning. But anyhow, this cheap pump keeps breaking right here. So I don't know how I fixed it the last time, but it lasted a few months. But I think it froze over the winter, broke again. So last week I tried to epoxy it with some JB Weld type epoxy, and that didn't work. So yesterday I put construction cement. The hose size is in there, so I just surrounded it all around in there. So it's only like a 1/2 inch inside, even though that's almost 2 inches. Then I melted with the solder iron the plastic and used some zip ties to add some. And then I drilled some holes and I put some wire through, which probably isn't going to do anything, but I also let it sit overnight. It does work. Echo, turn on pump. And this guy will work real quick. It does have a water sensor, so if there's no water in the hole, it won't run. Still got some leakage in this area. Alright, this hose, I bought it for $1. I like it because it's raw. I definitely got to put a trench at least over to here, because they occasionally cut it with the lawnmower, my hose. So hence why I have a newer hose. So yeah, that's looking forward to one day to not having to have this control this. You gotta fix that. It doesn't look right. I think it's because, well, I guess this roof, I have no idea why, but I keep putting stuff up there that keeps coming down the wall. It's supposed to go this way, but whatever. So you can kind of see I put some flashing in there, but unfortunately it's going beyond the flashing. You have to take a closer look at that. Of course, the best time to do that's in the rain, which is the worst time to do it. So I think my repair job isn't working. Seems to be got like a little leak or something. Fuck. So I've been fighting my utility pump that pumps up my backyard for the past week. I've glued it twice together, and yesterday I thought I did a great job, but unfortunately it didn't hold. So I went online to the Harbor Freight and other places, and everything was like $170. Now, one piece I did want is I wanted the ability for the pump to turn itself on and off sensing water, but not with a floating switch, but a switch built in, so it would still pump down to like an 1/8 inch of water. And again, those are about $180, or I could go on Amazon and spend about the same and wait 2 weeks for the thing to come. So however, while I was looking at all the different pumps, I realized that this piece, one that broke apart again despite my crafty little holes and wire, I got a little too close to the edge here, as you can see, and it just broke right through. But yeah, this one screws. So once I realized that, I figured, well, maybe I could buy this part, which is on some models a check valve. So there's a valve here to make the water make sure that the water doesn't come backwards when you turn the pump off. Well, so I dug through my extensive fitting collection, and sure enough, I was able to find a garden hose to a normal pipe thread to a galvanized steel thread that fit, obviously, that internal thread. So basically this end on one side, this pipe hose fitting on the other one. Now the dripping you see is actually from the hose. There's some pinholes in the hole. So now this actually sits down in between the bricks, so the water level will go below the bricks and then it will turn off. I also have my Echo turn off pump. Ability to turn that on and off with this Amazon connected power switch. Echo, turn on pump. So, yeah, there we go. A few holes there. How's that? You know, you pay $1 for something at a garage sale and you think you should get quality, but it's leaking a lot less than the previous video. So hopefully this will last me the summer, winter, whatever. And I gotta trench all this and put in some sort of solution. So, yeah, saved $100, $180. So, yeah, I fixed the pump. I think I turned it off last night, so it didn't run today. This is a good example why I need the pump. Maybe that'll work better now. Fuck. Okay, so welcome to Dad Life of a Dad. So basically I've got this 5-foot section. It's 12 by 14. She's gonna go to the end right here and over. I got 14 feet of that. I'm doing this alone, of course. That clamp there is gonna keep it from sliding. I'll pop it up in the air, grab these clamps, clampulators, and they will allow me to hold that into place. Prior to that, I'm gonna put some straps in. I'll screw them there, maybe there. No, probably there. Probably right there and there. And then they'll be hanging down near the spider. No spider. And then this will keep the duct from going this way. Then I'll just clamp her up, zip and zip. Then I'll come over here and trace this little beast, and then I'll cut from the inside because I got an open hole. And then at that point I will tighten that. Actually, I'll zip it through there, and then over here I will zip in the outside. My right ankle? No, we're going up. All it's going up. Yeah, I gotta seal that too with the duct sealer. Whack, whack. Of course, at some point the TV's gotta move, which isn't fun. And well, if I get into trouble, I got that spider there to help me. And he looks like he knows what to do. So there we go. 1,000 journeys begins with one trip. Okay, so we've got, damn, that spider's big. It's getting, did he grow? Maybe. I've got my two supports. I've got my straps ready to go. So basically all I do is I double this over, drill a hole, put the screw through, zip it into the wood, one and done. And then I got the clamp to kind of keep it from moving around this way. So as this is loosely holding them up, I don't want it to move, so it can't move this way and it can't move that way. So there we go. Of course, once this is in, this is all that's going to be easier. When I say that now, probably not. I'm gonna put a cover over that. There used to be a light there. Looks a lot like that light. Weird. Okay, so now she's suspended. I forgot that since there's a lip that's gonna eventually stick in the hole that I have to cut here, this wouldn't go all the way up. But this is just to get it in a position, cut it. I can use supports, get it right where I want, then come back and tighten these up. Because they're cloth, I can adjust them, then I trim the ends. But I guess the next thing is to move the TV. The TV is here because it got grabbed while trying to mount it upstairs, and now there's a little. So since somebody wants to watch a movie with a, it's not a big monitor that occasionally gets used down here. So realized while I was up here, I could just screw this on, then cut this hole out, and then push it up or in or some ways. That way everything's tight. And I don't have to worry about this thing moving while I'm trying to cut it, because she'll want to move. So that looks pretty. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Then I can measure the distance in the wall and get it straight, and then this can go up too. So we'll adjust on that later on. That one's gonna be hard to get to. We'll put a new one here. Yeah. Okay, so got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 screws in there. You can see they're all in there. So yeah, they're all down there. I could put one more there. And there should be a couple down that way. Which there are. So at this point, I'm gonna figure out how to cut this hole here, let the air flow, put my end cap on, and keep on shooting. But at least this gets this out of the way. It's permanent home. I think I will adjust the height here a little bit. Though it doesn't look that bad. Looks a little high. But yeah, she's got a little bit of a tilt up. But definitely gotta put a support in here. So I'll probably do that first. I don't know. But can't go anywhere, that's for sure. Similar to the spider, it doesn't seem to be wanting to go anywhere either. He's a cutie, I guess, if you like spiders. Maybe you can find a new home. Okay, well I got a little mess to clean up, but we got a hole. This thing's fancy because it has these louvers up here to redirect the air. So I should get good airflow right down in here. Oh, down into there. I don't know. So we'll clean this up with the grinder. I gotta put a bigger screw in there. I actually hit the hole that was already drilled there. It's a bigger diameter. Yeah, a little bit of dust, but yeah, she's done. A little more dust there too, but. So we're out shopping for free today. It's the weekend, you can throw anything out. And so far I got this really cool mirror. These boots, which will be dedicated to a beach mirror. Those can be flower pots. This I'm gonna take apart and take the rings out. What you do is you hang the rings on like a wall, and then you put your bungee cords on there. These are them plates that break. This interesting piece of wood might be good for a shelf, like in the back of a shelf or something. She's ornate. She's rooted out and everything. I don't know. Or she'll burn. So, yeah, having fun. And I got me a hose from my backyard sump pump. From the last episode, you may remember that things were leaking on that hose. So, hey, buddy, you lost? Where are you going? Can you go get my order to Bellows, please? I'll tip you. Okay, so it's 40 degrees out. It's rainy, so yeah, let's work on the car. So a couple weeks ago, you may remember I went to go change on the bearing hubs on the VW. It makes a lot of noise. I recorded the noise level. I hopefully will get both of them done this weekend. But I ran into a problem. One is, that's a 32 millimeter 12 point. Didn't have a 32 millimeter 12 point. And I could buy kits at Harbor Freight for $70, but I have all the other sockets. I had a 30, I had a 28. I just didn't have a 32. The other problem is, you're not supposed to be able to see the bearing. There's a cap that goes over that. So I ordered these, which are about $7 a piece. So because I'm cheap, and I was gonna replace them anyhow, it didn't matter if they got wet more because they're not gonna fail. This is a new hub. So I expect the hub to come off and then this to stay on, and then I'll have to extract this. We'll use a little heat. So now we've got our caps, so we can put it back together properly. These will actually press into there. I haven't tried them, but they look like they're the right size. Yes, and that will protect the bearing. And then we got this to take it off. So first we'll take out the wheel, then we'll take off the nut here. We'll support it with the car jack underneath there, because we're going to be, torque spec has 175 pounds. So it's going to be at least 175 pounds or more to take it off. So we'll be using this plus maybe, that pipe right there. And this foot right there. So yeah, so fun. Okay, well the big nut came right off. Got the brake rotor off. Clearly you can see the sensor down there. This fell off when I wiggled it and ripped on it. They're not about to fail, but they're a little noisy. So I have to do is take this thing off. I'm not quite sure how. I think you just hit it with a hammer. Yep, you just hit it with a hammer. Let's see it moving. Yep, as expected. We got a little retainer. So this is the back of the bearing. Whoops. So now we get the torch and we heat that up and pull it right out. So again, these weren't bad yet, but they're definitely dirty. So now they're in two pieces. So I thought before I'd start banging on it, I would try this. So this is a bearing puller, and I think it's gonna work because it just pulled that metal piece off that's supposed to just protect the bearing from dirt. So we'll go to plan B, and oh wait, there's a little gripper there maybe. We'll try that next. Okay, that didn't work. It just cracked that. So we're gonna go get the tank and heat this up. I think once I heat it up, I can just grab on with the big channel locks and slide her off. So this has got a bit of heat sink to it. This does not, so give it a go. Gotta watch this, don't melt that. Okay, heating it up with the torch didn't really do much. So I took out this little device and that big device, and we cut a flat on her and cut all the way through, pretty much all the way through, leaving the tension. Now she well, with the other hand she'll move. She just moved for me. There we go. So we'll cut a little more tension out of her and slide her back. Unfortunately, that ring doesn't really have any good place to grab onto it, so I think I'll use a little DW40 and lubricate her up. It doesn't look like I hurt the sensor at all. Gotta clean these up, but that's a different thing. Okay, we got her ready to come off now, and there she is. Definitely never usable, but I buggered it up just a slight bit. So now we'll clean her up, lubricate her, put the bolt back on, tighten it up to 175 foot-pounds. That's pretty good. Pretty much going to take all the torques that I have. Got to clean up the calipers now it's available. Maybe I'll wire brush it. What the hell? Okay, so I was able to use the big nut on the inner race. I had to really hammer this bad boy on. Then I put the nut on. Fortunately, my Harbor Freight device only goes to 150 pounds, so I got to about 150 here, and I just went a quarter turn more. So that's backyard 175. I did paint, scrape the rust with the wire wheel, and I used some heavy-duty corrosion inhibitor and sprayed on that. New coil spring, new caliper, new shock, so new hub now. Hopefully I never have to take these off. Some of you maybe ask about the backing plate. Yes, it'd be a good idea, the backing plate, but frankly, there's no backing plate on the front of the brake, so it can't be any worse to not have one on the back. So there we go. And put the brake back together, put the caliper back on. I'm gonna spray the caliper. Actually, I gotta clean this with some brake clean first. Makes you just feel better inside. You know, we'll put this together. The big question is, I think I go eat lunch and then maybe tackle the other side. This went a lot faster than I thought it would. Not easy, but it went faster. Okay, so the brake rotor back on, got the cap on that protects the bearing. I put some anti-seize in here. I filed down these because the brakes are supposed to float a little bit. They're really tight. That may prevent it from dragging on one side or the other. And we bolted that on. I need to tighten that. I need a 13, 14 on that side. And we're all done. It's getting colder and starting to rain more, so I think we're gonna do the other side hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully don't need this anymore. Okay, so it stopped raining. I put a coat on. I got all the tools out. I might as well just do it. So I reversed the car, brought it back in. So we'll jack her up, take the wheel off, take the brake rotor, or the brake caliper off, and then take the rotor off, and then go to town. So, oh, it only took me an hour and a half the last time, so I'm gonna set the clock at 1 hour. Gotta get some tunes first. So I guess the one thing I didn't realize is on the other side it does have the dust cap on there. So I'm still gonna go ahead and do that, but it adds a little complication of it may be the original, which means it's gonna be harder to get off, and I gotta pop that cap off. Okay, this time I'm gonna hit record. Because I knew the torch didn't do anything, I decided to go right to the grinder. So we got the grinder, we changed the battery. We got the low air power grinder. She's a hoot for taking off exhaust. And then I grounded over here. I know the bracket's over here, but I'm better right-handed. Now I'm able to move this, so she's pressure's off. And now I just need to cut the little bit rest off and slide it off, and I will get this done under an hour. I already wire brushed some of this. I'll come back and do that. It looks like I properly filed these. Yeah. Okay, she's all wire brushed up. Some of you may be noticing that I'm wearing shorts, and it might be a safety thing. Well, I adhere to the new safety standard that's an industry-wide standard called Safety Third. It puts safety right back in the priority it should be, third. So now we'll go find the wheel hub and pound around with the nut and tighten the nut up to 150 plus a quarter turn foot-pounds, and we'll go on. Okay, well, the hub's back on. It kind of rubs on the ABS sensor, which I'm trying to take out. Believe it or not, the bolt came right out. I was pleasantly surprised there, but so we're taking it out piece by piece. Got the connector off back, so it's got to slide in this way because it's got a connector on the back. It's got a lot of copper wire. I'm surprised it hasn't been stripped for parts. So I think we're just gonna slice her off with that and be done with it, and go to the store and see if we can get a new one. But hub's on. Okay, we got her out. She needs a little cleanup, but I look forward to going to the parts store with the baggie and hand him this and say, yeah, I need a new one of these. See if he even knows what the heck it is. Anybody's taking on parts now. There's very few parts, I'm sure, in a car that has that many little tiny copper wires. Usually they're probably coiled though. Okay, so I buttoned her back up. I can't find a sensor locally, so I went back to Amazon and ordered a Bosch, which is going to be high quality, as long as it's not a fake Bosch, which I doubt it would be. So it'll be in on Wednesday. I went ahead and zip tied on this. By the way, I hit that when I was grinding. So I'm gonna replace that at some point, but she'll hold for now. Just pop the wheel back on and take her for a test drive. Maybe I'll wash the hands first. I don't know, a little dirty. So yeah, this time I'm gonna hit record. I took it for a test drive. I couldn't hear the wheel bearings in the back, so it was a lot quieter. The decibel rating was originally 90.7 dB. My uncalibrated core says 60 miles per hour, my uncalibrated sound meter on my cell phone, and then a few minutes ago was 84, going the same direction at approximately 60 miles per hour as well. So that's a huge difference of 6 decibels, if you know anything about sound. And yeah, so that's successful. Ironically, I just ordered new wheel bearings for my car on the front, so they're not drive wheels. They should be a little actually easier to do because they bolt in instead of pressed on and then compressed with a large nut. So it reminds me I should do a YouTube and figure out what tools I need, if I need any at all. So yeah, there we go, done.